Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Joe. That's a beautiful entree for our next subject. It's my great pleasure to introduce Greg Foran. Greg started his career in 1979 as a trainee manager for Woolworths New Zealand. He then held a number of management positions within the organisation, including the John Lewis Group in the UK, Bond & Bond, Maxi Mart, and Woolworths Variety Stores. Greg came to Australia in 1997 as Director of Grocery Merchandising and Marketing for Franklin's Australia. In 2001, he joined Woolworths Australia and now holds the position of Director of Food, Liquor and Petrol for Australia and New Zealand. During his tenure at Woolworths, Greg was responsible for significant growth and repositioning outcomes for a number of major divisions. Greg will explain to us today what can be done by retailers to get their customers to increase their fresh produce consumption. Thank you, Greg.
Thanks, John, and thanks for a great session from Joe, who's effectively shut down about 70% of the supermarket as we stop selling any packaged goods, but it could be worse. I could be talking to the Meat Livestock Association, seeing all the cattle have stopped going overseas, but here we are with a part of our business that is absolutely critical to us. And it makes so much sense, doesn't it, when you're the fresh food people, that produce is important. Before I get underway, I just want to briefly say thank you to, I guess, the majority of you in the room who help support us. I suspect at times you probably look at businesses like Woolworths that, I guess, on any scale, appear to be reasonably large, and you would go, gee, big corporate business, probably a bit difficult to deal with. An interesting thing about life is that what you see depends on where you stand. And in our business, we've got the joys of and responsibility for, I guess, serving around about 14.5 million customers a week in our supermarkets who come in, a lot of them without a heck of a lot of knowledge or experience of where the product comes from, what a lot of you have to go through in order in terms of growing it and getting it to us. So we've got a big responsibility to those people. As I said, about 14.5 million transactions a week. In the supermarket business, about 120,000 of our team rely on you in terms of putting shoes on their kids' feet. So I just wanted to say thank you. It's been a really interesting period. We've had our share of natural disasters, not just in this country, but in New Zealand in terms of earthquakes as well. And it would be remiss of me not to thank you, but also to point out that we actually need you just as much as at times you may suspect you need us. So the relationship really is very important between us, and that's why any opportunity I get to come along and chat and share a little bit about the things that are happening in our business are important, because we cannot run our business without you. And produce is one of those 20% of things that's worth 80% of the prize to Woolies. So without further ado, if I can just quickly get through the speech, and then I'm really happy, John, to take any questions. So the obvious starting point, as I mentioned, is the Fresh Food People. It's our brand. 25 years ago we started it, and I would say that it is as enduring today and as recognisable as what it was some quarter of a century ago. It's a promise and an aspiration, and it's a commitment from all of us in our business to do our level best to put fresh food at the heart of everything that we do at Woolies. And we've devoted pretty much of the last 25 years, most of our branding and marketing to just that, and celebrating everything that Australian agriculture has to offer. The hypothesis of what I'm about to share with you is what can be done by retailers to increase fresh produce penetration. Well, we're a commercial enterprise, as you are, and our goal has two elements to it. Firstly, we do want to increase the overall consumption of produce to lift the whole market, but secondly, we also want to increase people's consumption of fresh produce at our business, Woolies. And just to confuse you, I'm going to start with the second proposition first. Contrary to popular opinion, we actually don't have anything like the share in fresh food that a lot of our customers would perceive us to have. So in packaged groceries, we would be sitting, 35%. In fresh, it's well below that, probably below 25%. In fact, the amount of fresh food bought at Woolworths as a percentage of the total overall fruit and produce production in Australia is only about 12%. Therefore, I think it's our unapologetic aim to really try and see if we can do something to increase that in our business. And so what are we doing? Now, what do I need to do to get this turned to my one, guys? Oh, there we go. Thank you. Well, first thing we want to do is ensure that customers trust the quality and freshness of Woolworths produce. I think it's critical for any retailer, but when you call yourself the fresh food people, I think that's doubly true. If a customer buys one bad tomato from you, they'll forgive you. If they buy another bad one, then you've just lost them as a fresh food customer.